Nikki, whenever you want to get started. Good.
So good morning, everybody. My name is Mickey. I am the lead PRSS here at Southern Highlands. I do a lot of work with people that are incarcerated. I help them to try to get reentered into society, hence me being on the reentry board. I also do things like PRSS sessions. I do home visits. I do transports and that sort of thing. So we'll just go around and introduce ourselves real quick, and then we'll have the speaker speak.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start off. William Long, I work with McDowell County Family Treatment Court. Work out of the McDowell County Day Report Office as PRSS. So I also work with people that are in probation, on parole, and in drug court as well. Having been a drug court participant myself, I'm able to relate to them through my own personal experience. That's about me, though.
My name is Phyllis C. I work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. I'm stationed here at FPC Alderson for females. We assist them in getting back out into society with resources, identification documents, just getting them prepared for release.
I'll go. My name is Megan Dobbs. I am here at Bluefield State University with the West Virginia Collegiate Recovery Network. I also work with Community Connections, and we are a support system for students who are in recovery and higher education. We also do outreach events, work with mental health facilities, do HCV testing, and all kinds of stuff.
Hi everyone, my name's Bonnie Helvey. I'm with Indivior. I work with anyone involved in the criminal justice space, just helping them get access to any medically assisted treatment, providing education. So it's good to be on these calls just to get some ideas or see if I could be a resource to anyone.
Hi, my name is Terry Castle. I'm with the REACH Initiative. I'm a PRSS/Reach Back Navigator, and I help people out here get settled in once they're free, like with their driver's license, jobs. I just help them any way I can to be successful and not go back to prison. And I'm also the Callaway Lincoln host for the Reentry Council.
Morning, everybody. I'm Rich Ward, Division of Rehabilitation Services.
Aaliyah Tanner, Disability Rights of West Virginia with the CAP and the PABS program. I put my contact information over there with a website with a really good list of resources.
Carla Mollahan. I'm with Unicare. I'm in the population health department. So I travel around and do health topic presentations to any groups needed.
I thought Emily was going to go a minute ago, but then she disappeared. I am Krisha Spears. I'm with the REACH Initiative. I host all 21 reentry councils for West Virginia. So Carla or anyone that takes care of more than one region, if you would like to speak at any of the other reentry councils, please let me know. My information's over in the chat. I do all the behind the scenes stuff. So the past week and a half have been spending some grant funds, using those Amazon Prime days to see how many deals I can get on items to stuff in our backpacks and duffel bags that we deliver. So, they're going to look at me funny when I have all of these, underwear and toothpaste come into Amber's house. So.
Hey, Krisha, how would I be able to get some of those backpacks?
So I will have to look because the funding comes based on the region. So these are currently for the Palatine of Huntington region.
Mhm.
So they are, the items that go in there are specific to the grant that we've applied for. So like right now, Dominique Curl from MOV gave me one on Friday. It's due tomorrow, so I'm writing one for Parkersburg in that area. So if there is a foundation or a trust or something like that in your region that you know about, send me the link. I will be happy to write the grant for it. I mean, a lot of times with stuff like that, it's copy paste. And then I just, change whichever counties and stuff like that. So if you know of anything like that, send it to me. And I will be happy to write it. Unfortunately, there's not any state money for that. So,
Right.
and then, the other, the regional grants and foundations and stuff. So,
All right.
yep.
So if everybody have done their introductions, we can go ahead and let our speaker introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what they do.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Randy with Chest Health. I know I've had an opportunity to meet quite a few of you, but I do see some new faces, so I'm glad I'm going to be able to share this resource with some new people. I work, like I mentioned, for Chest Health, and in West Virginia, we have some online products that we get to offer individuals and agencies completely for free. So I'm going to tell you about two of those today. The Connections app, and then our new companion app, which is going to be released any day now. I have it on my phone, but I cannot give it out yet. But you'll see how valuable it's going to be for sure. Is everyone able to see the screen? All right, awesome. All right, so I'm going to first talk about our e-recovery product, or the Connections app. I'm going to talk about the purpose, the functionality of it. So like I mentioned, this is offered completely for free through a SOAR grant in the state of West Virginia. We've been with the state since 2020. Our grant runs through at least October. The state has just purchased the companion app that I mentioned. So I anticipate that our grant is going to go well beyond this October. But even if it doesn't, anybody that you onboard to the app today is going to be able to stay on the app and keep using it after our grant ends. Keep in mind that this platform is completely encrypted, HIPAA compliant. So if you're using social media, or you're using personal cell phones to interact with individuals, you might be putting their information at risk. You might be putting yourself at risk. We have a high trust certification, which is a data security accreditation. So we go above and beyond, really trying to protect people, protect their information. We do partner with quite a few agencies across the state. Just recently, within the last couple of weeks, we went live with a couple in your area. Summers, Monroe, Day Report Center, Drug Court just went live. Southern Highlands, RPG, all through that area. We've had a few historic, Tug River, the other programs in Southern Highlands, which we'd like to expand on. And then our Peers in Jails program. We've been working with the state for over a year trying to get this up and running. So all the peers, the coordinators that go into the jails to get individuals, help them, upon release, get re-entered, get into treatment, they're going to be using the app to track people and follow them through the cycle. So great use case for this group. If your agency doesn't use the app and you want to add it to what you're doing, your programming, please let me know. I'm the one that's going to get you signed up, get it offered to you. So my contact information is in the chat. I'm going to send all this stuff out afterwards, so you'll have it to look at. So really the purpose of this app is to keep individuals connected to care when you're not able to work with them. So, you go home for the night, you put up your phone, you're on vacation, it's summer, you know, who knows where you're going to be. That's not going to call a timeout on that individual that's looking to get into recovery, that's going through the reentry process. The thought is when someone's in a residential program or they're incarcerated, there's someone around 24/7. They step down in treatment, they go through reentry. There's less and less time they're spending with a provider, other people in recovery, and that they're by themselves. If they get on that hour-a-week cadence with a therapist or an outpatient clinic that gives 167 hours a week to be alone, it's hard for anybody, let alone somebody going through that major transition phase. So in these downtimes, when things can get tough, when the anxiety creeps up, when the urge to use substances creeps up, all they have to do is pull out their phone, open our app. They're going to be connected to certified peer specialists 24/7, 365, and a community of literally thousands of other people in recovery going through the same things that they're going through. I know I keep mentioning in recovery, but this is an app for mental health as well. So if somebody is, you know, has a dual diagnosis or co-occurring, they can use this app for that kind of support. Every peer that's in our app is licensed in the state in which they live. We have multiple peers that reside in West Virginia, Greenbrier, Parkersburg, Huntington. I actually have 2 in Parkersburg right now. So pretty much spread throughout the state. You know, we have some peers with national certifications. First Choice Solutions does our overnight care. So a real local flair for a company that's not based in West Virginia. Is everything we do in the app is also evidence-based. So, you know, for the sake of this conversation, I'll just mention that individuals that consistently use our app have a lower risk of return to use and stay in treatment longer. So they stay on the course and they stay moving in the right direction. Any questions on why the app exists, what the purpose is? All right, let's share some of the tools that are inside this app. First and foremost, we have our communities. These are discussion boards. They're completely anonymous. The first thing an individual does when they sign up for the app is they create an alias for themselves, and that's how they're going to be known in the app to other individuals. So none of their personal information will be made public unless they choose to make it public. You would be able to see behind the scenes, though, as an agency. You would know that the person posting, you know, under Zenith as in the screenshot, that's really me. And you're going to be able to reach out to me if you notice anything peculiar in the app. Everything in the app is moderated. So in the instance, it's moderated in a good way of somebody comes in here, asks questions, posts something looking for feedback, they're going to get it from our peers. Nobody's going to be left hanging. Everybody's going to get the attention and support they're looking for. And it's also moderated in that if there's anything, you know, nefarious going on in the app, any bad actors, their posts will be immediately removed, and, you know, we'll be able to follow after that. Main communities that individuals get by default: Recovery Talk is for substance use, Mind Matters is for mental health, and Connections Daily is just general conversation. We also have a family and parenting group that's really popular that I've been adding to most people just by default, so they have it. We also have a teen version of the app. They exist on their own corner of the app. The only adults they would ever interact with are our staff members. So even when they turn 18, they're transitioned by our staff over to the adult version of the app. Introductions are made, things of that nature. Again, safety and security is our #1 priority here. Virtual support groups. Every day, at least once a day, there is going to be a live recovery meeting in the app. None of them follow a 12-step tradition or fellowship, so you're not getting an AA or an NA in here, which, you know, based on the ruling in West Virginia, where you can't mandate meeting attendance if it's spiritually based, if it's a faith-based meeting, none of these have that faith-based component to them. So if somebody is mandated to attend recovery meetings, all of these will check that box for them. They will all qualify for that. We even have a reentry meeting that happens once a week. hosted actually by one of our peers in West Virginia who's been through the reentry process, home confinement, the whole nine. So a moderator of a meeting that really understands what's going on, has been through it, has come out the other side a better man. So, you know, I highly encourage individuals to attend that meeting. But there's also meetings for specialized groups, parents, men, women, veterans. We do some physical meetings, yoga, tai chi. There's goal setting meetings. We'll do right now there's an art group going on, and there's even like an initiative to publish and share some artwork from the people in our meeting. So we're always more interactive, you know, and more specialized than you would get just in a general community meeting. I do want to mention that attendance is tracked for all of these meetings. So it's tracked in the app, and then it's also tracked by our peers that run the meetings. Again, if you need to report back to anyone about meeting attendance, this is much more reliable than just getting a sheet of paper signed out. You know, when you go to AA, just who knows who signed it, who knows how long you stayed. We'll keep good notes on all of that stuff. Our content library, generally this has recovery resources, treatment facility finders, some stuff for your 12-step meetings, TED Talks, guided meditation, some adjacent recovery things, problem gambling, financial literacy. I've added a lot of mental health resources recently. We did grief around the holidays in there. I have some stuff that was requested on like autism and SUD. There's a lot of family resources, parenting resources, and there's a ton of West Virginia specific resources. And if you want your agency to be listed in our content library, or you have resources that you want to share, whether it be food pantries, clothing closets, local meetings, local anything, I'd love to put it in there for you. We could share it with one specific, agency, or we could put it out there for everyone. I want this to be like the most robust one-stop shop for people who are doing case management or, anything of that nature. I don't want resources like this to be the reason why somebody, has to, chooses to return to use, right? We want them to have the utilities assistance. We want them to have rides to appointments, things of that nature. So we're listing all of that in there. Everything in the app is gamified. This is designed to make it more fun for the individual utilizing the app. Every action and interaction is going to get you points. It's going to get you badges. You can go up levels. You can share your recovery milestones, your recovery streaks, things of that nature, just to kind of make it more fun for you as a provider. You can use this as a tool to see how engaged someone is in their recovery. Are they spending the time looking at the resources? Are they earning points? You can set goals for them. One of our biggest partners is the Southeastern Regional Day Report Center, and they are really competitive using the points. There's a lot of bragging rights between the participants there of who has the most points, who's on the highest level. Their staff will give out like paper token certificates when people hit certain milestones, just to give that positive reinforcement. Even the drug court judges there will look at this and ask, how many points have you earned recently? What level are you on? Well, last time you were on 42 and you're only on 43. Are you actually on the app? Are you actually trying to learn more and interact and get stronger? So a really good tool there for a lot of different reasons. Digital CBT program in the app. This is an evidence-based series of 7 modules designed by the Yale School of Medicine. This puts people in real-world situations, teaches them how to recognize, avoid, and cope with situations that might cause a return to use. It's completely interactive, immediate feedback on the choices you make, positive reinforcement, redirection for less than desirable answers. There's worksheets that go along with this. So you could do this in a group. You could do this with an individual one-on-one. You could give it as homework. And everything is real world situations. So like the screenshot here, this woman, that storyline is she's newly sober, her husband and their friends still using the house. So how do you have those conversations about, what you're trying to do with your life? How do you stand up for yourself? How do you know when it's time to leave? How do you set those boundaries? So again, just really impactful things that can help somebody in real life. Surveys, check-ins, peer support. Every day when somebody logs into the app, it asks them if they're confident in their recovery today, yes or no. And that daily check-in, if they're confident, great. If they're not confident, one of our peers is going to reach out and is going to help that individual figure out what they're going through for that day, give them a little bit extra support, direction. Maybe they just need to vent because they, lock their keys in their car, right? The weekly check-in is our BAM survey. It's a 17-item survey, comes out every Friday. It looks at recovery from a holistic view. It's going to ask you about meeting attendance, activities, relationships. Did you use? How much did you use? What did you use? Anxiety, depression, on and on and on. And that's going to be a great way to see week over week if somebody's getting more confident in their recovery. Maybe they're trending towards a return to use. So it asks about sleep. If somebody isn't sleeping well, that could be a reason why they use substances. Well, why aren't you sleeping? Do you have a new baby in the house? Well, let's get you some parenting resources. Why aren't you sleeping? Is the power out and it's really hot? Well, let's get you utilities assistant so you can get your AC back on and you can feel comfortable at night so you don't, drink or drug over it. There's other customizable surveys in there. So if you ever have any kind of data you need to collect, you want patient feedback, you want to know, what's going on with your individuals, we can set those up for you as well. Most important feature in this app, I could delete everything except for this and it's still worth it for you to use, is the recovery help button. It's this little life preserver in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Anytime, day or night, 24/7, 365. If an individual feels like they're in crisis, they can press that button. It's going to pop up on the screen with crisis lines 911, 988, 211, help for West Virginia. If you have a hotline or a warm line or an on-call line, we're going to put that on there as well. So they just have one click to call on that. And then one of our peers in that moment is going to reach out to them, whether it's call, text, direct message, video chat, anything. Our peer is going to intervene. They're going to help that individual go figure out what they're going through. It could be something. We had a real example from one of our participants in California a couple weeks ago. He had gotten to an argument with his spouse. He went over to a friend's house that he used to use with. That friend was using. When he got there, he pressed the button. So he had somebody to talk to. On the way home, he talked to our peer. They talked out what was going on. He agreed to go to a meeting the next day. He didn't choose to use with this friend, right? That is how that works in real world situations. We can just talk to somebody if they're having a rough moment. We can call 911 for that person, get EMS to where they're going, talk them through administering naloxone, follow up with them, right? That's another way that's been used. So either way, we'll let you know if you want to know what happened, so you can continue care after that immediate intervention that we offer. All of this exists to reduce the risk that somebody returns to use, provide them better coping skills, and gives that 24/7 peer support when they need it. I know I said a lot in a short amount of time. Does anybody have any questions about the tools that are available in this app for individuals? Yeah, Jill, did I see your hand go up?
Hi. Sorry, I was late to the game. My computer decided to restart. So this is a really cool tool. I do have a question about the questions that are asked. And I know that you said this could be used in conjunction with drug court and things like that.
Sure.
My concern would be, is that information shared with the drug court? Like, does a person feel free to say, yeah, I used today? Are you mandated then to share that with drug court, or how does that work?
So that's a good question. And we do have different agencies. So everything in this thing is customizable, right? And your level of involvement is It's kind of on a spectrum as well. We have what we call the public version of the app, and then we have the provider version of the app. The public version of the app is you just get your individual signed up and you say, this is a great tool for your recovery. It's got some really good resources. I think it will help you out a lot. You should use it. And then that's the extent of your involvement. If somebody talks about their use, if somebody presses that button and says, you know, I'm with my cousin, he's overdosed, you'll never know about it unless they tell you about it, right? We can set it up that way. Because a lot of agencies do want people to have the freedom to figure it out, to make a mistake without punishment, to learn. Other agencies want to be really hands-on, and we can get you set up with, I'll show you in a minute, what we call our CHEST dashboard, and you'll be able to monitor what's going on in the app. You might have certain individuals that, you know, this is a privilege for you to have this. We're going to see how you're acting in it. If you're doing well and you're being respectful and responsible, we'll give you more, you know, privileges or other resources, right? So it's totally up to you how you use this. We just want to make sure that that individual has the resources that they need when they need them, right? That's kind of our stance. Was that a good, fair answer for what you were looking for?
It is. I'm actually with education and with the Adult Learning Center.
Okay.
And so we're trying to give people resources, but some of the people who come to us are through like Recovery Point and things like that. And so by making this suggestion, telling them about it, I just kind of wanted to give them the reassurance, if you're using it and you're doing it, that it's not going to be like a thing that's going to get you kicked out of your program if you're honest about it. And so I just wasn't sure how that would work, or if they would feel free to be honest about it, I guess. So it's a very it sounds really promising and like a good tool.
I'm glad you think so. Any other questions about the features, tools in the app? All right, so as I mentioned, I was going to put a link to the app in the chat. If you want to try it out for yourself, I'm going to put a link to our public version of the app. So this is going to give you the opportunity to download the app, test it out, see the communities. I just only ask that if you do log in, this is a live version of the app, so don't press that recovery help button unless you need it. If you need it and you need that peer support, press it. You know, if you don't, then just we'll just pretend. So all good. So what you would do is just click that link. It's going to take you to a web form to fill out. That'll give you some text messages. You can download the app. You can sign in. This is the example of another layer of our security. You could go to the iTunes store. You could go to the Google Play Store and download the app. You just wouldn't be able to sign in without an invitation. That web form is essentially your invitation. That's what ties you back to an agency. That's what how you'll interact with staff. And I should mention, and I didn't mention it earlier when I talked about communities, we have a peer version of this app. So if you're a peer and you want to use this app for your recovery, we can get you added to the Peer Connect community. And that's peer support specialists from all across the country. They're all in that community together, sharing stories, swapping resources, giving each other support. Every month, we have essentially a speaker meeting where one of the peers from across the country tells their story, talks about their agency. Last month, it was Amber Blankenship that did our Peer Connect meeting. So, you know, again, it's a great resource for everybody. You know, recovery is recovery. The CHEST dashboard, this is your tool as a staff. Like I mentioned to Jill a minute ago, if you want to use this through your agency and you want to be hands-on with your participants, we will give you access to the CHEST dashboard. The app is right? 4 participants, 4 recovery. This is for staff to do their thing. This is web-based, so log on through your laptop. You're going to be able to see patient demographics. If you don't use an EHR or you don't have a good like patient management tool, this could be that for you. So you can check out their demographics. You can set appointment reminders, medication reminders. We can build events in here like meetings. You have video chat through the app, so you could do one-to-one or group video calls. You have 300 or 10,000 free minutes. It's like 340 hours a year. So plenty of time to run meetings. We can build private communities. I know West Virginia Collegiate Recovery Network, we had somebody from that agency. They just built their own private community, and next school year they're going to have all the students in one place to be able to talk to them. You know, they can interact with each other in the app, which would be pretty cool. That content library will be there for you, reporting feature. So patient analytics, what they're doing in the app, their survey responses. If you have any surveys, you know, they'll all be available to you through this portal. You'll be able to send one-on-one or group messages. You can see what they're posting on their wall, what they're posting in communities. You can give that positive reinforcement when they post that they're 30 days in recovery, you know, things of that nature. Any questions about the dashboard and what that tool would be used for? All right, one final thing. I'm really excited about this, and I wish I could put the link in the chat for this today. We're about to come out with our companion app. Everything I just talked about pretty much with the Connections app, but this is for friends, family, loved ones, caregivers, individuals that are adjacent to recovery, mom, dad, brother, sister. That individual, you know, the quick response team goes to their house, they've experienced an overdose, they're not agreeing to go to treatment yet, but their family needs to learn more. Companion app, right? I used to do direct business development for a treatment center, and I would say 75–80% of the calls that I received about needing to get somebody in treatment were from mom or dad, were from spouse, and they didn't know what to do. Right. So this is what they can do. This is when they need more information. There's going to be essentially Al-Anon and Nar-Anon groups. There's going to be that content library. There's going to be the ability to message with our staff. So tons of tools available for friends and family. Like I said, this is built. It's live. It's together. We just haven't been given the permission to share it yet. So as soon as I get permission to share it, I'm going to try to book again with more reentry council meetings to try to get this out there to everybody. Again, another free resource. The state of West Virginia paid to get this developed, so it's yours. Like your tax dollars, your SOAR grant funding paid for this. So, you know, I think you should be proud that this exists. Any questions on anything that I spoke about today?
I got a quick question.
Sure.
The companion app, will they have to be associated with somebody using the Connections app, or is it kind of its own standalone thing?
It's its own thing. So your agency could, if you wanted to, like again, like the provider public set up a version where you know, you have your little pool of people, of your family members, your support group. But I think mainly this is going to be a public version of the app where everyone's going to be together. And this is completely separate from Connections. So there will be no crossover between, you know, family members in the two apps, right? There's no room for family drama in the app, right? So two separate platforms. So, you know, a safe place for everybody to be. Any other questions about anything I shared today? All right, excellent. Well, I appreciate you letting me share. I'm going to send a copy of these slides over to be distributed to everybody on the call. My contact information is in the chat. I'm going to make a slide right now for it to put my contact information in the slide. So if you want to implement this in your agency, just let me know. It'll take us 2 30-minute meetings and we'll have you up and running.
Thanks, Randy. If you want to send them to me, to Krisha,
Yep.
I'll send it out to everybody that's in this meeting. I've got the listserv, so I can send it out to everybody. And then when you're ready to announce the companion app, get with me and we can get you scheduled for more councils.
Thank you.
Anybody have any events or anything that's going on? Any community events or anything fun happening or anything we should be aware of that's going on in the community?
Southern Highlands is collecting donations for the back to school drive. So far, that is the only one that I am familiar with as far as Southern Highlands goes.
July 29th through the 31st is the West Virginia CIT Summit. I have to pull it up on my calendar to even see where it's at. Charleston. It'll be in Charleston, West Virginia. I have not done the necessary research on it to even know what I need to be doing. I just got scheduled onto it this past week. Well, for sure, I had it on my calendar to go, and now looks like I'm going to be manning a table there.
Thank you, Elizabeth. WAVAP is next weekend or next week, and then Summer Policy Institute is, I don't remember, Terry, whatever it is, the last weekend of the month at Marshall. And Save a Life Day is coming up at September 26th. So there's lots of things, and then definitely back to school bashes.
There anything else anyone would like to discuss or you feel would be important to the group? Well, if not, I'll turn the floor back over to Krisha. Is there anything left?
No, ma'am. I mean, if you want to talk about who you have coming up, I mean, you're a rock star. You have scheduled out through the end of the year, so
That was
already looked
with
at somebody for
Cody's help.
January.
Yeah, that was with Cody's help. So
I'm glad we've been able to get it done.
Who do we have next month? Or you're still working on that one, right?
no, we have Linda Carter from Shellian Circle of Care. She'll be speaking next month. Well, if no one has any questions, if it's okay with you, Krisha, I'll go ahead and close, and I'll see everybody next month.
All right, thank you. And some of you all see this afternoon on whichever one we're doing this afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.